Gentlemen, let's be brutally honest. You wore a condom, you thought you were protected, and you trusted the rule everyone repeats. Safe equals certain. But there's a small, stubborn gap almost no one explains. A 2% window where HIV can still slip through real life. Not because you're reckless, but because biology, timing, and tiny mistakes don't care about intentions. I'm Dr. Jame, a men's health researcher who has spent 2 decades listening to stories that start with, "We used protection every time." In clinic after clinic, I've seen how myth beats science, and how silence keeps men from seeing warning signs early enough to act. Today, we're stripping away confusion. I'll show you exactly how that 2% happens, the early HIV symptoms men overlook, and the simple moves that close the gap, from smarter condom use to testing that respects the window period. No fear, no shame, just facts every man deserves to know. Stay with me. One honest conversation could change how you protect your body forever. You've done everything right. Protection, responsibility, caution. But protection isn't perfection. To understand how a thin layer of latex can save lives and still let a few slip through, we need to see what's hiding inside that 2%. Because real safety begins with real knowledge, not assumptions. Chapter A. The 2% Gap Explained. Condoms are powerful, but they are not magic. The headline number you hear, 98% effective, comes from controlled conditions that minimize heat, friction, and human error. Real life adds variables. Latex can fatigue under dry friction. Tiny, invisible micro-tears may form when a condom is old, stored in a hot wallet, or stretched by the wrong size. Pre-ejaculatory fluid can appear before you roll the condom on, leaving a small window of exposure. Pressure at the base can push fluid towards skin that is not fully covered. During withdrawal, the rim can slip, allowing backflow. None of this means protection is pointless. It means protection has physics, and physics does not care about assumptions. Think of the 2% as a narrow doorway created by 3 forces. First, material risks, aging, heat, and microscopic damage that you cannot see. Second, biological realities, viral load, fluid contact with uncovered skin, and timing. Third, user variables, when you apply it, how you remove it, and whether the fit is right. Close each doorway and the real world gets closer to the lab. Here is the mindset shift. Condoms dramatically reduce risk, but only when every small step supports the next. Inspect, store correctly, choose the right size, roll early, hold the base, and withdraw carefully. Respect the window period with testing, and never let the 2% surprise you again. Polyurethane and polyisoprene behave differently under stress, and dryness magnifies friction, raising heat that weakens films. Correct lubricant reduces shear, maintains integrity, and preserves the barrier under motion. Chapter B. The Contact Zone. What condoms don't cover. Most men never think about this. Condoms protect the shaft they cover, not every surface that can meet infectious fluid. HIV doesn't require full penetration to transmit. It needs a doorway, contact between infectious fluid and a mucous membrane, or skin with tiny microabrasions. The base of the penis, the hairline at the root, the scrotum, the perineum, and even the inner thighs can be exposed during motion. If secretions reach those zones, risk exists. Small, yes, but real. I've heard countless men say, "Doc, we used a condom every time," and still their lab work told another story. The condom covered what was visible. It didn't cover what was vulnerable. What opens that doorway? First, coverage gaps. A condom that isn't rolled to the root leaves the base uncovered. During vigorous thrusting, the rim can creep upward, exposing more skin. Second, friction and backflow. Motion can tug the ring and allow secretions to track backward toward pubic skin. Third, grooming injuries. Fresh shaving creates micro nicks. Even when you don't see them, the virus sees opportunity. Fourth, irritation. Dermatitis, razor burn, or healing follicles lower natural defenses. Fifth, forgotten fluids. Pre-ejaculate menstrual blood or anal and vaginal secretions can migrate beyond the condom's edge, especially when lubrication is insufficient or the fit is wrong. Now the fix. Think zone management, not just condom on. Roll early all the way to the root. Confirm the rim lies flat. Use ample water-based lubricant to reduce pull and roll-up. Choose a size that stays put. Hold the base during withdrawal, then clean surrounding skin gently. If uncovered areas were exposed, respect the window period, schedule testing, and move forward informed, not fearful. Smart beats luck, always. Chapter C. The Silent Window. Timing, testing, and hidden infection. Here's a thing most men never hear clearly: the window period. It's the span after infection when the virus is present. Viral load can spike, but standard screening may not detect it yet. During acute infection, people are often the most contagious, yet a recent negative result can create false reassurance. Tests have different clocks. Rapid antibody tests often need up to 90 days for reliable detection. Fourth-generation antigen-antibody tests shorten the window to about 18 to 45 days. Nucleic acid tests, or NAT, can detect infection even earlier, typically 10-14 days after exposure. If exposure was recent, a single negative does not close the case. It starts a timeline. Practical rule: test now to set baseline, then retest at the right intervals. After a potential exposure, consider an RNA test at 2 weeks, a fourth-generation test at 6 weeks, and an antibody confirmation at 3 months. If the exposure was high risk, talk to a clinician immediately about PEP within 72 hours. Every hour matters. Remember, timing beats intention. Your condom may have done its job, but if fluids contacted uncovered skin, or the partner was an acute infection, the calendar can still outrun the barrier. Do not rely solely on a partner's screenshot. Document day 0 exposure. Plan: day 14 RNA, day 42 4th gen, day 90. Antibody. If starting PEP, obtain a baseline first, finish 28 days, then retest 6 weeks and 3 months after completion. While waiting, avoid new exposures, treat STIs promptly, and confirm any home result at a clinic. Mini Bridge. Prevention isn't only a product, it's a schedule. Know your body, log dates, watch for fevers, fatigue, night sweats, or swollen nodes. Awareness turns uncertainty into a plan. Chapter D. Early HIV symptoms in men. The signs most miss. Most men don't connect the dots when early symptoms appear. They feel a little off, a flu that lingers, fatigue that coffee can't fix, and assume it's stress, lack of sleep, or a bad week. But early HIV symptoms rarely look dramatic. They disguise themselves as common illnesses, which is why nearly 9 out of 10 men overlook them. In the clinic, here's what I see most often: persistent fatigue that feels deeper than ordinary tiredness, almost like your energy's been quietly unplugged. Night sweats or low-grade fever that lasts longer than a week. Swollen lymph nodes in the groin, neck, or underarms that stay tender. Unexplained weight loss that seems too quick to be diet-related. recurrent fungal infections or mouth sores that heal slowly, occasional rash across the chest or upper arms that fades and returns. These warning signs often emerge 2 to 4 weeks after exposure. The immune system is fighting hard but losing quietly. Men self-medicate, hoping it's just the weather or stress. By the time they test, the virus has already integrated into the bloodstream, forming its silent base. So, if you notice flu-like symptoms that don't behave like the flu, don't guess test. Early detection changes everything. It keeps treatment simple, recovery stronger, and transmission almost zero when addressed quickly. If you're still watching, you're already ahead of most men. Type the word "aware" in the comments. It shows you care about truth, not fear. Because awareness, not silence, is what saves lives. Chapter E. Behavioral Blind Spots. The 4 Common Mistakes. Let's talk about behavior. The small human choices that open most of the 2% gap. 4 mistakes show up again and again, and each has a precise fix. Late application. Any contact before the condom is fully rolled on can transfer pre-ejaculatory fluid. Fix. Open, pinch the tip to remove air, and roll to the root before any genital contact. Make this a ritual, not an afterthought. Early removal. Ending with the condom still in place matters because backflow happens during withdrawal. Fix. Hold the base immediately after climax. Withdraw while still erect. Then remove away from your partner's body. Check for slippage or leakage before disposal. Oil-based lubricants. Petroleum jelly, coconut oil, and massage oils quietly weaken latex, increasing tiny tears under friction. Fix. Use water-based or silicone-based lubricants only. Reapply liberally to reduce heat and shear, and never double up condoms to be safer. Wrong size or reuse. A too tight condom stresses material. Too loose encourages roll-off. Reusing a condom multiplies microscopic damage and contamination. Fix. Test sizes. Choose a snug but comfortable fit. And use a new condom every single time. Each mistake looks minor in the moment, but under a microscope, it becomes a doorway. Combine 2 mistakes, say oil with the wrong size, and risk compounds. The principle is simple. Minimize friction, eliminate exposure windows, and control the rim. Quick checklist before every encounter. Fresh, unexpired condom, proper size, stored cool and dry. Roll early, ample compatible lube, hold the base, clean surrounding skin. Schedule testing after any suspected exposure. Master the details and you convert protected into actually safe without fear or guesswork. Remember, condoms don't fail. Technique does. Upgrade the technique and the statistics start working for you, not against you. Small habits, repeated consistently, close the gap men rarely discuss completely. Chapter F. The Mindset Shift. Beyond fear, toward smart protection. Condoms aren't the enemy. Ignorance is. Most infections that occur despite protection don't come from failure of latex. They come from failure of understanding. Think of a condom like a seatbelt. It doesn't prevent every crash, but it gives you the best odds to walk away. The rest depends on habits, education, regular testing, and clear communication. When these align, the 98% success rate becomes almost absolute. After 2 decades in men's health, I've learned one rule that never changes. Protection is not a product, it's a mindset. Men who treat protection as a ritual instead of a reaction live with confidence, not anxiety. They use condoms correctly, know when to test, and never ignore warning signs. They understand that protection begins before intimacy and continues after it. Ask yourself a better question. Not, am I safe, but am I informed enough to stay safe? The difference between those two sentences decides outcomes. Awareness means knowing your partner's history, your testing timeline, and your own body's signals. It means replacing fear with facts and routine with consistency. The 2% risk shrinks when you add layers. Condoms for the barrier, testing for confirmation, and conversation for transparency. That's how prevention becomes empowerment. You protect your partner, your future, and your peace of mind. So stop seeing protection as an object you wear and start seeing it as a lifestyle you live. It's the daily choice to stay educated, to stay honest, and to stay aware. That mindset, not just the latex, is what transforms risk into resilience and numbers into control. Michael, 34, was a fitness coach who lived clean, trained daily, and never skipped protection. To him, condoms were a guarantee, not a gamble. He'd tell friends, "I'm careful, I'm covered, I'm fine." Then, one winter, a mild flu lingered for weeks. Fatigue, fever, night sweats. When routine blood work included an HIV test, the result stunned him. Positive. There had been no break, no visible tear, no reckless night. The missing truth was timing. His partner had been recently infected, still inside the silent window period where tests read negative but viral load peaks. The condom blocked contact, but the calendar beat them both. Today, Michael works with awareness groups, sharing what he wishes he'd known. Protection isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, and scientific. He teaches that safety means understanding, not assuming, confirming, not guessing. His story reminds us that real security doesn't start with fear. It starts with knowledge, timing, and the humility to double-check what feels certain. So here's the truth every man should carry after watching this. Condoms work, but knowledge makes them stronger. They protect 98% of the time, yet 2% remains open to physics, biology, and human error. Understanding that small space isn't fear. It's wisdom. When you recognize the gap, you gain the power to close it. First, precision. Use protection early, properly, and completely. Store it cool, roll it right, hold the base, and never reuse. Those habits sound simple, but they define the difference between protected and exposed. Second, vigilance. Learn the timeline of testing and honor it. A single negative test isn't the finish line. It's a checkpoint. Repeat at the right intervals, note symptoms, and never assume. Knowledge doesn't weaken confidence, it builds it. Third, awareness. Real safety grows from conversations, not silence. Talk openly with partners. Ask when they last tested. Replace awkwardness with honesty. Each shared truth is one less hidden risk. Finally, mindset. Condoms defend your body. Awareness defends your life. The combination transforms uncertainty into control. If today opened your eyes, share this message. You might be the reason one friend gets tested early, one partner feels safe, or one man learns that protection starts long before the moment and lasts long after. If this conversation changed how you see protection, share it now. Comment informed below, because awareness spreads faster than fear. Subscribe for more real talk that keeps men safe, strong, and confident. One honest truth at a time.